Hi and welcome everyone to another video. My name is Denis and today I'm going to show you my team selection for Gaming 17 of Fantasy Premier League. So let's just jump straight into it. Okay guys, so as I said before, today I'm going to show you my team selection for Gaming 17 of Fantasy Premier League, and also I'm going to show you my plans and strategies for the future. But before doing that, real short, hopefully 2 minutes maximum, I want to show you how my team performed in Gaming 16 of Fantasy Premier League. Now as you can see from the screen, 80 points for me, the average was 60, so I should be more happy, right? Because I got at the end of the day a pretty strong green arrow. At the moment my rank, as you can see it from the screen, 176 K is my best overall rank this season so far, so I should be probably more happy. We're heading into the right direction, but as you may know if you watch my content, I use my free in Gaming 16 and I just expected more. I wanted maybe to be a little bit more lucky, something like that, but again, this is how my team performed. I'm really happy that I've gone with double Chelsea defense instead of going with double Fulham defense. For an example, they conceded against Burnley, so definitely it could have been much worse for me. So I'm still pretty happy about my score, 80 points. But the thing is, a lot of people who didn't use their free hits got really good scores, and that's because obviously they have players like Phil Foden, Erling Haaland, obviously, which their ownership is really huge, so that didn't obviously help a lot for my team. And as you can see from the screen, I've gone without Foden, I've gone without Haaland. I wanted to bet against Crystal Palace in Gaming 16 with my free, and I still think that it was a decent idea. Now again, probably the smartest idea for me, it should have been to just have Erling Haaland on this free, but at the end of the day I've gone with someone like Hugo Ekitike, who matched him pretty much. So he scored 13 points, really happy with him. Palmer 6 points, really unlucky that he didn't get at least 60 minutes. Other than that, you know the story. I captain Bukayo Saka, Erling Haaland outscored him, but at least he got something, so that's a big plus for me. And the sad story is with Lewis Kelly and Ben White. So I ended up on double Arsenal defense against Wolverhampton, against the worst team in the Premier League, and surprise, surprise, not one of these defenders got at least 60 points. And you know the story. Ben White started, he got injured, and Lewis Kelly came in at 30 minutes and 1 or 2 seconds, just enough for him to not get a clean sheet. So yeah, it is what it is. I think that you need to have some luck definitely in this game. And at the end of the day, the good part is that Arsenal didn't keep a clean sheet. So whichever player I would have chosen to have into my free team, if I would have gone for someone like Eze, 1 pointer, if I have gone for someone like Hincapie, Timber, 4 pointer, 2 pointer, so everybody from Arsenal pretty much blanked against Wolverhampton. So it is what it is, but it's just that really unlucky sensation, because obviously I just thought before that Arsenal are going to get me the most points in the free thing in Gaming 16 playing against Wolverhampton, but this is how football works for you. And also Bruno Fernandes, who was my hero pretty much on Monday, he got 13 points, an incredible pick. But again, I would have gotten Bruno Fernandes anyway in my normal team, but he got me at the end of the day the green arrow, so really happy with him. Dango, Tara, Thiago, there could have been better options if you put there Harry Wilson instead of Dango Tara, if you put there another striker instead of Thiago, or if you just gone for Erling Haaland instead of Watkins. We would be looking at 100 plus free for Gaming 16, and that would be amazing, but it is what it is. Let's just move on. Now I have 5 free transfers for Gaming 17, so let me just show you how my team is looking at the moment. Okay guys, now moving forward, I'm just going to show you my whole team for Gaming 17 of Fantasy Premier League. Sorry for the lack of graphics today. That's because at the moment I'm pretty sure this is how my starting 11 is going to look like by the deadline, or it is just because I was a little bit lazy today to make some graphics. So take whichever version you want, but instead we're going to take a look at my team on the Fantasy Football Hub app. They have a lot of tools. Again, in this period they have a really nice promotion around Christmas. I think that I'm going to pop up the offer right here on the screen somewhere. The thing is, obviously terms and conditions applied if you want to buy a membership, and if you're not going to improve your overall rank, if you're going to follow their advices, obviously they're going to give you a 1 year free membership for next year. So again, check the links into my description if you want to see more. But talking about my team, as I said before, currently I had 5 free transfers because I used my free in Gaming 16. Now I already used two transfers, and probably that's how I'm going to go into gaming 17. I want to roll the other three transfers. Now I have 1.7 millions in the bank at the moment because I caught some price rises, and I avoided some price drops, luckily. Now my transfers for this gaming 17 was to sell Munoz to O'Reilly, and also I bought in Semenyo and I sold Njae, who's also going to go for AFCON. So these are my moves: O'Reilly and Semenyo in, Munoz and Njae out. Now let's talk a little bit about my whole team. In defense, I'm going to start Raya, obviously, against Everton away instead of starting Dubravka. I saw a lot of people obviously thinking about downgrading someone like Raya because he's really expensive, and again, maybe you want to buy an Arsenal playing defender, but at the moment I think that I just don't need to think too much about selling Raya. I think that the next few fixtures are decent, and if I really want to buy a goalkeeper instead of Raya, probably I want to go for someone like Robert Sanchez from Chelsea, but the fixtures for Chelsea are going to get better just after gaming 21 22, so probably that's the period where I'm going to look to downgrade Raya and maybe upgrade other defenders. So Raya is going to be in goal. Really happy to have an Arsenal defender here. Everton are going to miss a lot of players. Idrissa Gana Gueye, Njae is away to AFCON. Grealish has a little injury. Dewsbury Hall has a little injury. So again, they have a lot of missing players. I think that the chances for Arsenal to keep a clean sheet are pretty decent. If you have two Arsenal defenders, I would be really tempted to just keep them. I think that you should keep them again. And other than that, we're going to discuss about buying other defenders. Now my backline currently is O'Reilly, Lacroix, and Virgil van Dijk. O'Reilly was my transfer for this week. I sold Munoz because obviously he was injured, and I think that O'Reilly is probably one of the best defenders, if not the best defender to buy in gaming 17. The fixtures afterwards for Manchester City are not amazing or something like that. It's Nottingham Forest away, Sunderland away, Chelsea, Brighton, Man United, and Wolves in gaming 23. But overall, the fixtures are decent, so don't get me wrong. And the thing is, Ainury is gone to AFCON. I think that the minutes already are really great for O'Reilly. Now with Ainury gone, you would expect O'Reilly to get really decent minutes for Manchester City, and he's a really attacking defender. That's what I really like. Now again, in this season, we have a lot of good center backs, defenders who are really good for defensive contributions, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to go for the fullbacks, but in this case O'Reilly, I think that he's worth the money, and really happy that I've gone for him. Lacroix again, he's a Crystal Palace defender. I think that not a lot of people are, I don't know, really happy to keep Crystal Palace players in this period. We need to see about Crystal Palace how they're going to line up in Europe, but I expect Glasner to rest pretty much all the players. Let's see if Lacroix is also going to be rested, but anyway, he's going to play. He's good for DEFCON. He has decent attacking threat, so I'm really happy with Lacroix for gaming 17. And my third defender here probably is going to be Virgil van Dijk. Now, don't get me wrong, the picture is not amazing or anyhow for Virgil van Dijk for Liverpool. They're going to play against Spurs away. It would not surprise me at all for Liverpool to concede, considering how bad they were this season. But to be honest with you, I just think that Liverpool improved in the last 3, 4, 5 fixtures, and I think that they are defending better, they are attacking better, and with Virgil van Dijk, I just think that he should have scored some goals in the last 2, 3 gamings, and I think that we Van Dijk owners were pretty much a little bit unlucky for him to not deliver. And again, he has good attacking threat, he's good for defensive contributions, and at the same time, I would not be surprised for Liverpool to keep a clean sheet against Spurs away. That's not impossible. Now, if we look at my other options on the bench, I have Rodon, who's going to play against Crystal Palace at home, and Alderete, who is going to play against Brighton away. So if I'm going to be forced to play one of those, that's perfectly fine. I don't mind it at all. But Rodon is going to play probably against Mateta. We're going to discuss a little bit about Mateta in a minute, so I don't really want to do that. And Alderete is going to play against Minte. So again, probably if I need to pick one of those two to play, it would be Rodon, but Crystal Palace at home is such a better fixture than Spurs away for Liverpool. Yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about that, although Leeds are a really good team at home. Now, talking about my midfield: Foden, Semenyo, Bruno Fernandes, Minte. Really happy. Honestly, I'm really happy with my team now. Hopefully, the results are going to come for me. Hopefully, we can climb the ranks a little bit because I'm really happy with my team. Now, again, if you, I don't know, if you want to use the Frit in Game Week 17, probably I would go for Foden, Semenyo, Minte maybe, and I don't know, maybe I would go also for someone like Cherky. But what I'm trying to say is that this midfield is pretty much uh, all the best players you can have, maybe besides Bukayo Saka. I don't have Bukayo Saka, which is also a player I would love to have into my team, but having Foden, Semenyo against Burnley at home, Bruno Fernandes, the fixture is not great against Aston Villa, so don't get me wrong, but I think that he's decent. And Minte against Sunderland at home, I know that a lot of people sold Minte. I don't know, maybe they think that he's going to go to AFCON. Minte is not going to go to the African Cup of Nations, guys, and the fixtures are just great in the next four fixtures: Sunderland, West Ham, and Burnley at home in Game Week 20. So for me, there aren't a lot of reasons to sell someone like Minte. Maybe if I'm going to want to buy someone like Cunha, maybe if I want to go for someone like Bukayo Saka or Wirtz or something like that, then yeah, maybe I'm going to think about selling Minte. But Sunderland, West Ham, and Burnley are really good fixtures in the next four. Now, Arsenal, it's true, in Game Week 18, it's probably the worst fixture you can have, but I can just bench Minte in that game week, so that's not a problem at all. Yeah, really happy with Foden, with Haaland, obviously, with Semenyo. Again, if he's on 4 yellow cards, so that's the problem. That's not usually the kind of transfer I'm doing. Pretty much, I just bought Semenyo mostly for this fixture against Burnley at home. Also, I had Njae, and the thing is, all the other midfielders who I should have got, I don't know. I didn't really fancy any of them. I could have gone for someone like Bukayo Saka, almost, I think, probably, but I just think that Semenyo against Burnley is a better fixture. Now, the problem is if he's going to get that yellow card, he's going to miss Brentford, so he's going to be a straight out swap in Game Week 18, but it is what it is. We got 5 free transfers. That's why probably I wanted to be a little bit more aggressive. I think that maybe some people are not going to buy Semenyo because he's on 4 yellow cards, and other than the fixture against Burnley, it doesn't make a lot of sense to buy Semenyo for the long run, right? Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs, Brighton, Liverpool, the fixtures are horrible for Bournemouth, so he's going to be a sell either in Game Week 18 or in Game Week 19, Semenyo anyway, maybe to someone like Cunha, Wirtz. I need to see. But at the moment, other midfielders, I didn't really fancy them. Bruno Fernandes, yeah, he's decent. Again, I'm not expecting a lot of points against Aston Villa away, but he's on penalties, on set pieces, on really decent for defensive contributions, all the good stuff. And Minte, as I said before, I think that he's a nice differential, and the fixture against Sunderland at home is pretty decent. We're going to talk about other midfielders in a minute. On my bench, as you can see, I have Anderson from Nottingham Forest, which I think that he's also decent against Fulham away. With Sangare out to AFCON, I'm expecting Anderson to be better for defensive contributions. But again, I'm just not sure which player from my team would you bench to play Anderson. So probably at the moment he's going to be the first name on my bench. Now let's move a little bit to the attack, because as you can see, we have one flag player, probably a player who's in a lot of teams, Thiago from Brentford. Again, he missed that game against Manchester City in the cup. Again, maybe it was a rest, maybe he's actually really injured, but I suspect that he's going to be available to play against Wolverhampton away. So again, for me at the moment, I'm going to wait to see the press conferences tomorrow, and then I'm going to decide. But even if Thiago, I don't know, is a doubt, probably I'm still going to roll because I don't have the money to go for someone like Ekitike by selling Thiago. So yeah, I think that the fixtures are decent. Wolverhampton, Bournemouth, Spurs, Everton, Sunderland, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest. Overall, at that price, I think that he's a decent pick, and that's mostly because we don't have a lot of good forwards at the moment. Haaland is going to be my captain. I'm not going to talk too much about him. If you want to go for someone like Foden, Semenyo, fair enough, but I just think that Haaland is the obvious captain for Game Week 17, and probably that's where I'm going to land. Mateta, my third striker. Now, let's talk a little bit about Mateta. Again, I'm not so happy owning him, but you know what? The thing is, a lot of people sold Mateta, right, in the last 2 3 fixtures, and for good reasons. I think that long term he's a sell, definitely. But because I used my free in Game Week 16 and I somehow ended up with Mateta in in my Game Week 17 team, I'm kind of tempted to just keep him. That was the plan all along, to keep him for this fixture against Leeds, especially if he's going to get a full rest in Europe, and I'm expecting him to start against Leeds. 60, even 70, 60 minutes could be enough for Mateta to do something. And I think that he's kind of a little differential. So that's what I like about keeping Mateta for Gimmick 17. But again, from Gimmick 18 onwards, probably I'm going to look to get rid of if the minutes are still going to be bad. But at the moment, Sar is gone to AFCON. Kamada, I think, is injured, and they have another injured player. So at the moment, I think that they need to play Mateta and Ketia, Jeremy Pino. I think that they pretty much need to play all these players. So yeah, this is how my team probably is going to line up for Gaming 17. Please let me know in the comments down below what do you think. And also, before talking about my transfer strategies for the future, if you're enjoying this video, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, because it would really be mean a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, don't forget to like, to subscribe. They have a new feature, I think, right now on YouTube, where you can hype the video. So yeah, please consider doing that. And yeah, it would be really much appreciated. Thanks a lot for your amazing support in the last weeks. Now, as I had said before, I have 1.7 millions in the bank, not 1.4, because I made some early transfers. Now, again, what I could do, I could just sell Mateta to Ekitike this gaming, but is Ekitike against Spurs away such a better option than Mateta against Leeds away? I'm not so sure it is such a big difference, and maybe not worth a transfer. But again, if you force me, if I was to bet, and with which, I don't know, forward I would feel better, definitely Ekitike. I would rather have Ekitike against Tottenham away probably than having Mateta against Leeds away, because I want to have someone like Ekitike long term probably. But is he worth a transfer? Probably not for this gaming, and I just don't think that this is the best entry point for Ekitike. But for a matter of fact, I can do that. I can do Mateta to Ekitike. Now I can't do Thiago to Ekitike. I'm going to have 8.5 millions, something like that, and yeah, Ekitike is 8.6. So yeah, I would be really close of doing that, but let's see if the injury for Thiago is that bad. So yeah, talking about other defenders, I know that a lot of people have a lot of free transfers at the moment, because maybe you didn't use all of them in Game Week 16. And the thing is, I bought O'Reilly, but also the thing is, you don't have a lot of good transfers to make, I feel, in Game Week 17, because if you're looking to buy a defender, the defenders who have decent fixtures in Game Week 17, like Senesi, like Trafford from Bournemouth, are having bad fixtures long term. The defenders you want long term from Everton, maybe Keane, Tarkovsky, are playing against Arsenal. So I just don't think that this is a good gaming to buy defenders from my point of view. Now, again, if you want to go for someone like Hincapie, that's perfectly fine. But I could also do something like this. I could buy an Arsenal defender if I want, but probably I would need to sell Virgil van Dijk. So again, until Gabriel is going to be back fit, I probably much rather just wait to see when he's going to be fit and just buy Gabriel, because I don't want to go for Timber, I don't want to go for Hincapie. I just don't think that the risk is worth taking at the moment. And talking about other defenders, yeah, pretty much that's it. If you want to go for Brighton, Van Heck maybe, he's also a decent option this gaming, but overall, yeah, the fixtures for defenders are just not great this gaming. If you want to go for a Chelsea defender, definitely this is not the best entry point. Newcastle, Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Man City. And from Gaming 21, as I said before, I think that a lot of people are going to be interested by Chelsea players, because they are going to have an amazing fixture run, and that's probably the week I'm going to buy some Chelsea players. Now, if we move to Game Week 18, I used 2 free transfers. I'm going to roll the other 3. So I'm going to have 4 free transfers for Game Week 18. And I'm going to have 1.7 millions in the bank. Now, this is how my team would look like. Raya against Brighton at home, pretty nice. Virgil van Dijk against Wolverhampton at home, really nice. O'Reilly and Alderete Again, here I have Alderete and Rodon with decent fixtures. So again, although I'm not super happy having to play Alderete or Rodon, I think that they are decent for Game Week 18. Now, whichever one I'm going to play probably is going to be Alderete because he's playing at home against Leeds. Lacroix is also playing against Tottenham at home, so probably this is how I would line up. Bruno Fernandes against Newcastle. Minte against Arsenal is going to be on my bench. Anderson also from Nottingham Forest is playing against Man City, so not an amazing fixture from my point of view. Semenyo, if he's not going to get that yellow card, I'm going to keep Semenyo for this fixture definitely. And other than that, as I said before, my strategy would be to get rid of Mateta as soon as possible. But again, let's see how many minutes he's going to get against Leeds in Game Week 17. Maybe he's going to be a decent option by Game Week 18. So maybe I'm just going to keep Mateta. But if not, the easy swap would be to just buy someone like Ekitike, and the other option would be Bowen. Now, Bowen, again, I'm going to talk a little bit about him. Definitely not buy Bowen in Game Week 17. Man City away is not an amazing fixture, but from Game Week 18, with Bowen, you know that around Christmas he's going to play 90 minutes every game week, and with Paqueta, if Paqueta is going to be out of the pitch, he could also be on penalties. Fulham, Brighton, Wolverhampton, Nottingham Forest, Spurs, and Sunderland at home in Game Week 23. So the fixtures are decent for Bowen. He's 6% owned, kind of. So he's kind of a differential at the moment. And with Ekitike, he's 20% owned, but from Game Week 18 also. Wolverhampton, Leeds, Fulham, Arsenal 21, Burnley in 22, Bournemouth in 23. With Ekitike, again, he's not the same type of player like Bowen. With Ekitike, he's not going to play 90 minutes every game week. They still have Isak, that's the only problem. They are going to share the minutes. Yes, probably they're going to play together most of the games because Gakpo is out, Salah is out to AFCON, so they are kind of forced to play both Alexander Isak and Hugo Ekitike. But again, he's informed, the fixtures are great. I just think that it makes more sense for me to just go for Ekitike. I think that it's much more exciting than to go for someone like Bone. So let's say I'm going to go for Ekitike. That would leave me with 0.8 millions in the bank and with also three free transfers. Now, what I can do here, again, probably I'm not going to upgrade the one of Anderson or Minte because I don't know. Let's just take a look at some midfielders first, and then we're going to discuss also about defenders. A player I could be interested, obviously, from Game Week 19 is going to be Mateusz Cunha from Manchester United, Wolverhampton, Leeds, Burnley, and then Man City, Arsenal. So again, three amazing fixtures for United. I think that is going to be worth to have some United players for that run. With Palmer, I'm not going to be interested. Aston Villa, Bournemouth, Man City, not at all. Other than that, Soboslai, again, I could just, yeah, I don't have the money to sell Anderson to Soboslai. Let me just check. Yeah, I would have pretty much 6.8 million, so I'm going to have the money to sell Minte to Soboslai now that I'm looking at this move. So this could totally be a possibility. Buy Ekitike and Soboslai ahead of Wolverhampton and Leeds back-to-back home games. That could be okay. But again, Minte, the thing is Minte has decent fixtures, but again, if I'm going to be forced to sell Minte, that's also not such a big problem. So yeah, this is what I could do. Again, Turkey could be an option. Kudus, decent fixtures. Rogers, I'm not going to go for him. Chelsea, Arsenal. Uh, Grealish, maybe against Burnley, Nottingham Forest, Brentford. The fixtures for Everton, that's what I wanted to show you, are going to be really good from Game Week. Sorry, this is Neto. Uh, Let me just put here an Everton player. So if we look at Barry, Burnley, a nice entry point if you want to buy some Everton players from Game Week 18, Forest, Brentford, Wolves, Aston Villa, and Leeds at home. So the fixtures are great. I could look to buy some Everton players. But yeah, again, as I said before, my defense is pretty decent, so I don't feel the need to make some transfers because Alderete against Leeds at home is okay. Rodon against Sunderland away is also okay if I need to play him. Lacroix also against Tottenham at home is also okay if I'm forced to play him. So again, although I would much rather prefer to have someone like Keane from Everton against Burnley in Game Week 18, I really need to see which are going to be my priorities, and that's what I would advise you to do also. So I could do this. I could just sell Mateta to Ekitike and Minte to Soboslai, and this is going to be my starting 11. I would have 3 players from Liverpool against Wolverhampton at home, which is nice. Now Soboslai is also on 4 yellow cards, so let's see if he's going to play against Spurs. Let's see if he's going to get that yellow card. But yeah, let me just refresh the page again and try to see. Yeah, let me just make my moves I made early. So that would be my team in game week 18 with 4 free transfers. Now, another possibility, I could just upgrade one of my defenders to a Michael Keane or something like that. Yeah, I'm going to have the money. I could also sell also Lacroix if I want to do that. If I don't think that the fixtures are great for Palace, Spurs, Fulham, Newcastle, Aston Villa, Sunderland, Chelsea, the fixtures are not great. So if I want to save up some cash, I could just sell Lacroix to Keane and play him. But again, let's say I'm going to sell Rodon to Keane. That's also a possibility, and then I could just play 4-3-3, or again maybe sell someone like Anderson or Minte. So again, let's say if I'm going to go for Bowen, for an example, instead of Mateta, I'm going to have 1.1 millions, and I'm going to have 7.4 millions for a midfielder. Not enough to go for Cunha. I could go for someone like Rice, but yeah, or to just go for someone like Soboslai. So this is another possibility for me. But as I said before, at the moment I prefer to go for someone like Ekitike, Soboslai. I think that this is a little bit more exciting than to just sell someone like Rodon to Michael Keane. If you get what I mean. Now, if we move to game week 19, let's say with this team, the team is looking okay. Here, I'm going to sell Semenyo. Probably here I could go for someone like Florian Wirtz. I know that a lot of people probably are not going to want to hear about Wirtz, but I think that he's going to be a decent option at some point. Now, again, probably he's not for everyone. So yeah, this is how my plans and strategy are for the moment. I made 2 free transfers in game week 17. I'm going to roll the other 3. That's the plan, at least. Let's see what's going to crop up tomorrow in the press conferences. And if that's going to go through, I'm going to have 4 free transfers in game week 18. The plan is to try to make small changes, try to go a little bit aggressive here and there where when I have the possibility, but also to try to have some free transfers, because as I said before, from game week 21, 22, maybe you want to go for someone like Sanchez instead of Raya. Maybe here the fixtures for Arsenal are not amazing: Liverpool, Forest, Man United, Bournemouth, Aston Villa from game week 19. So maybe you want to go for Sanchez, maybe you want to go for someone like Palmer, maybe even someone like Joao Pedro, or even Enzo Fernandez. So again, you're going to need those transfers in the future, I think, and that's at least my strategy at the moment. But yeah, good luck to everyone in Gaming 17. Hopefully you're going to get the green arrow. Good luck to everyone who's triple captaining Haaland. Hopefully for you is going to work out. Now I'm captaining Erling Haaland, by the way, and I hope that he's going to blank, because probably his effective ownership is going to be over 200. So yeah, this is the game we play at the moment. That's the state of it. Thanks a lot for watching this video this long. It really means a lot. I really appreciate it. And if you enjoyed it, please consider leaving a like, hit that subscribe button if you're new around here, and also consider the memberships if you want to support the channel even more. I would be really much appreciated. So thanks a lot. See you next time. Bye.